the project today was going to be firewood, and I got rid of all the rest of the firewood. We got down to punky stuff. Like here's a few in here that's like that one. It's all punky. I don't want to put it in here. It burns quick. Sometimes it don't light good. It will dry nice in here. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just about 9 face cord. It'd be about straight across. That's plenty for the season, but we got room for more. And the last that we put in here, that's the ash tree we put in. That's pretty nice stuff. The last we put in here is this little bit that was in that carport. It's kind of crappy. That's the reason it wasn't put over here in the building. So I wanted to put it in here last, so I use it first. But we got this kind of stuff. We got hardwood, maple, cherry, and oak. And these are cut off cants from the mill. And a lot of the workers, they take them home, cut them up, firewood. You know, they're just about 4 foot lengths. I got some 7s and 8s over there too, but I don't want to get into them. They're kind of usable. Some of them are, you know, twisted and cracked and crappy. But I came home with a dump trailer, dumped them off here. You can see how long they've been here. Month and a half anyway. Killed the grass. I started stacking them up on pallets, and I was going to store them. And I thought, you know, it's a lot of handling. The amount that's on there, it's easy for the forklift to pick up, but it's not easy for a compact tractor to pick up. You know, I can get under them. Some of them, when I dumped them off, they're not even level. But I can't pick up a pile of them, so I have to hand unload them anyway. I took some over there and started stacking them and said, I'll get to them later. You know what that means, right? When you get to it later is when you sometimes never get to it. So instead of handling them twice, I'm going to go ahead and cut them. I'm going to cut them up. You see the ends of these. Some of them are pretty nice. Most of them are like that, you know, wormholes, cracks, splits. They're damaged wood. They're good for firewood. So I'm going to cut them up. Brought a tape measure out. I got a stick here. Where'd I put it? Somewhere I got a stick. I labeled the length, and we can quickly set them on and cut them to length. I've got this, I don't know, I've had this for 20 some years. This old chainsaw, Makita, 11 amp. It spins pretty fast. 1600 meters a minute. The thing cranks, so it's not real safe. There's no brake on it. It just keeps going when you let go of it. I got to get some oil in it. I did sharpen the chain. Let's look here. Ooh, that's pretty sharp. Yeah, it's not bad. And look how many I got here. There's probably 200 of them. I want to cut them up into 16-inch, maybe 18-inch lengths. Not much any longer than that. So I want to quickly measure them and then cut them so I don't get I don't want any tiny little pieces. The wood stove we have will accept up to 24-inch, so I don't really want to cut 24s. They don't fit on a lot of the racks. But here's our carport. Remember this the other day? It was full of firewood all the way out to here, all the way into there, and all the way over. Well, I sorted, put it in the building. I had to have the carport back. And then I sold a load of punky stuff. People wanted it. It's gone. Great. I don't have to deal with it. So I want to cut this up. Instead of moving it twice, let's get cutting on it. I think I'll bring the dump trailer over. I'll chuck it in the dump trailer so I don't stack it in the bucket, drive over, start the tractor, move it back and forth. It's in the dump trailer. I can get probably all this in the dump trailer cut. And, you know, I think it's going to burn pretty good. It might burn fast, but it should be dry enough to burn pretty good. But see, there's some examples of worms in it. A little bit of rock going on. That one had a mushroom in it. So this stuff is good to burn. I was thinking of projects I could build with them, like little flower beds, little wishing wells. You know, hardwood oak that'll last, what, 10 years? Try to keep the base dry. But then I thought, well, let's burn this stuff up, you know. The squirrel out here helping, don't we? How you doing? This is the guy that when he starts purring, man, he sounds like the chainsaw. Right? Here we can hear it. Starting to get it going. But let me get them forks off in there. I'll go grab the dump trailer, park it out here. Probably leave it hooked up to the tractor. Then I can back it up there and park it. And when I get to it, you know, I can load it. Plus, I can throw a tarp over and keep it dry if it's all on the trailer. I don't really want to put a lot of wet wood in the building. And here we are, you know, September. Leaves are starting to change. So we still got a couple months to dry. If it gets in under cover, it'll be nice and dry. The lumber is a little strange lengths here. I don't know the reasoning for it. 46, 51, 51, 38. You know, and I want to cut these. Here's 39. I'll measure this pack here. This one, 51s. So that's bigger than 16. And I gotta, let's see here. I measured out a 16 and a 32 on this board that I could do like a fast measure on. I'm not sure. I don't want to end up with a lot of smalls, you know. So I don't know if I should leave my tape measure out, make that decision. Like this is 38, so if I cut a 16 to 32, I got a little 6-inch stump here. And if I cut an 18, we get a 36. A 19, we're getting a little long to stack in, you know, with the rest of the stuff. If we want 16-inch, maybe I'll go in and measure the stove and see what full lengths I can get in that. Even 2 foot, you know, won't work on this stuff. If I get a bunch of smalls, I'll just have to throw them in a, like the bonfire pit and burn them, which I don't really like. So I measured the firebox on the stove, on the stove in there, and it's 20 by 20. So I could get 20-inch stuff in there, but that'll be like setting it in neat, and if the fire is lit, you don't want to monkey around too long, you know. So I still want 16s, 18s. I think I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and cut them 16, because like I said, if the fire's already going and I'm putting wood in, I don't want to put gloves on and go in and reach in the back, burn the hair on your arm or something trying to load the wood up. So I'm gonna go back to 16-inch, cut it. Everybody, like if I don't want it, everybody wants 16-inch, so I'll cut it 16, and the little pieces I'll chuck on there too. And when we go over to the building and unload it, I'll just leave the smalls on there and make a pile of them, you know. Do what we got to do so I don't have to throw them back on the ground. The measuring stick, I don't know if it's going to be a good help here. I like to measure left to right. We could do something like this. This is only a 12-inch, right? This is a 12-inch saw. I got the 18-inch Poland Pro, gas and oil, loud. This is a manual oiler. Works. I also got a 12-inch compound miter saw that I thought might work on this, but being hardwood, you know, is I going to chew up a blade? I don't know. So we're going to start off with this and see how it works. I could take a marker dot or something and measure, like, you know, one whole course right off so I know where to go. That might be faster. I got chalk. Maybe I'll do that, because then I don't have to stop and keep measuring. I got my measuring stick. Otherwise, if we made a jig where I screwed 1 to 1 at 16 and just stuck it on there, but they're heavy to move these around. So maybe I'll get some chalk or a marker out here. All right, so I just used my stick, Use some chalk, went boom, 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 got them all marked real quick. Let's test this out, see if this is a good idea or not so good idea. See if the electric chainsaw is going to work or if I got to come up with something else. We separate them just a little bit. I don't know, let's try something here. See, that's going to take a while. I should check the rakers on this, see if it's a little high. Not biting in like I like. See what we can do with the big one. Well, that takes forever. See, that's pretty nice stuff. That's cherry, and she's cutting hard. So let me get the gas chainsaw out here. We'll test that, and then I might get the chop saw out here and test that. So let's see what works the best. Now we'll test out the gas chainsaw. Line up all my lines. This. I see kickback happening and they're still falling on the ground, but see, that's cherry. Nice piece of wood. I think they're going to burn well, but I don't want to pick them up, have them drop on the ground, pick them back up, throw them in here, take them over there, pick them back up and stack them. So let me think if the chop saw is a good idea. If we use the electric chainsaw, we're using electric anyway. We're getting a huge amount of wood chips on the grass here. We do a saw, we're not going to make as big a curve. So I guess the video would probably be what's the best way to cut up cants or 4x4s and 6x6s, 4x6s. What other size we got? Got some 3.5, 3.5s. 2.5 by 3s, and most of it's hardwood. There's a couple pine in there that were the you know, the pallet, I don't know what you call them, stickers, but I don't want to cut them up because they're pine. And let me get the chop saw out, see what's the deal with that. That's a pretty heavy unit, but it might be easier. Alright, saw number 3. Oh, I got the laser on. It's got a laser, Hitachi. It's a 12-inch slide, dual compound. I've had this a long time. Works pretty good. Let's see if this has power enough, right? A little kickback. I don't know why. That's working. It's a little bit quieter. I probably don't need headphones with it. Well, this might be for the win, right? It's got a DeWalt. It says construction. I got to remember how many tooth. Quite a few tooth in that. It's not a coarse tooth. And of course, less sawdust and nicer cut. That's oak. See that? Nice. And if I'm standing here and I just do that, I can load up the front of the trailer right away. You see my chalk marks right here on my board. I'm gonna sneeze. The the stop block on this is here. I could measure 16, see if I can slide the saw down. Maybe I'll do that, and then I don't have to measure the next set. Plugged in over here on this shed on a 50-foot cord, and it's a 16 gauge, so I don't think it's a 14. I better see if that gets warm. If it gets warm, I'll get a bigger cord. That one's cherry. Definitely tell we're not cutting through, how smooth that is, through pine. In each of these blocks, that's about 10 pounds. This looks like the wind, guys, so maybe the video ought to be on what saw will work the best. See all the wood chips here? The lawn's going to be pure chips. And then I can run the bag and lawnmower over this and suck this mess up. It's 4x6. I usually use this saw when I'm doing decks. Other than that, it's a lot of saw to do molding or something. That's pretty nice stuff. It's a shame to cut her up. What can you do with these short lengths, you know? And this one here has got a lot of splits in it. How long is it going to take me to cut up 150, 200 boards? heavy stuff. So if I get this in the building, and get her stacked, she'll dry pretty good. See that? Nice, nice. Jerry. So this is the top, last of the top row that I marked. So the speed here, it looks like it's faster than the chainsaws. Got a little binding going on. I'm going to check, make sure the guide is straight on this. Put a straight edge on it. And this one's adjustable. Oh, I think they all are, but this is easily adjustable. Get a straight edge. Looks like this may have to move back a degree or so. Yep, it's binding, so it's got to be a little bit out of. Taking it on the road with me, that's what happens. In the trailer. It's nice and smooth. See the growth rings. This is a pretty nice log that was. So I'm gonna go grab a wrench, get my guide, make sure that's straight with the saw. I think this edge on the right is out a degree, and that's pinching it here. We don't want to do any damage or get it biting. So let me get a wrench, get that tightened. Well, I grabbed a socket and a drywall square. And let me just see, because this saw, like I said, it gets thrown in the trailer. It's not out by a lot, but there is a gap here, so it's probably enough. On this idea, I'm not worried whether it's squared to the blade. I'm worried if the fence is tilted from the other fence so that we're binding. These look like 1/2 inch. Are they? Oh, they're loose. Look at that. Whoa. Well, that's easy. Look at that. That's out quite a bit now. Too much, too much, too much. So this one's probably loose also. No, this is tight. Actually, a little sloppy, so it's not 7/16. Is it 12 mil? What is it? It's 12 mil. Still, this first bolt's quite loose. So both of these need to go backwards here. That one's tight. Press in the center. It's not touching here. That looks better. Get her tight. Now we can get back to business. But I think this is the way to go. So far, this is the quickest, the least amount of dust, the most accurate cut. I could throw a stop block up there quicker without measuring. I could clamp a stop block up here, and then to measure to the end, if I wanted to do that on my next row. Right now, to our stop block, we got 22, and we want 16. Can we move down? We can only move down 5. Let me move it down 5 and see what happens. It says a 64-pound saw. That's what the box said. I kept the box. The other thing with using this, all the way down, with using this saw is, remember how I cut and had, let's see, I gotta put this over, this down. I had the boards fall down. Well, if they don't fall down, they stay up on the supports here. I'm not picking it up over and over. And the saw blade to the end stop, that's 17 1/4. So it doesn't look like I can get it without a clamp. Not a big deal, I guess. What do we got from here to here? 30. Bring that in a little. Let's just test it again. Don't kill me to mark these. If they're all in a row like that, I can mark them pretty quick. Let me mark another row and we'll try it again. All right, let's try another row of these bad boys. These are bigger, and I'm not sure they're gonna work. Probably should have measured it first. These, I almost hate to cut. They're 6x6s. They're 6.5 one way, and we've got 7. I think we can cut through them all right. It's just a shame, you know, but all the guys are using them for firewood. Look how heavy that is. And I can set it up here. And if I can cut it, I don't have to handle it twice. Let's see how she does. So I cut halfway through. So I'm going to want to put my block down. Slider across. See, this is a learning experience because we didn't get out in the woods this year, you know. We're getting the firewood in. And so when I asked the guys, you know, you got anything up here to cut? And they go, oh yeah, everybody's taking these home. They got piles of them up there. So I think I'll do the same thing so I don't drop my piece. See if these are worth it, you know. Take them home and see if they're worth cutting up and you get enough burn time out of them. Looks like my blade's a little loose. Look at that. They're good for, I don't know, blocking. This is oak. Look at that. A lot of wood right there. So this way I'm only going to handle it by cutting it to one time. I pick it up and I cut it. So that's what I'm going to do. I guess having a blade lock up like that, you know, isn't a bad thing. I'm not stalling the saw out, you know. Let's see what we got on the cord. I don't feel any heat out of it, so I don't have to worry yet. Always want to do that when you're on an extension cord. Don't overdo it, you know. So we've got one row of 6x. And we got a couple down below, and then we're back into 4x. So I think what I'll do is I'll set her up on time lapse. Like I said, these little blocks, I don't know what to do with them. See, if I throw them on the trailer, they're on the trailer in the way. I could leave them here at the back end. I don't want to throw them on the ground. So you got to think ahead, because you handle your firewood 7 times. It's getting to the point where, well, let's just pay for the propane, electric, whatever, you know. We'll put you on time lapse and you get to see me suffer out here. Well, there's one pile gone. It was pretty tall. I don't know how many was in that one. See this one here, like 8 rows high, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or so rows high. So it went through quite a few of them. Chop saw definitely is working better. See this? Not a huge amount of chips compared to a chainsaw. And the sound isn't too bad. I've only sneezed once. We got quite a load on there. So this is the waste, the cutoffs. These I probably could still burn. I might just throw them in a fire pit, these little cutoff pieces. But that'll make it easier to stack. They're all 16s. And, well, probably about an hour. So is it worth it? We're probably going to get, what, 4 or 5 days burn out of it. So I would say it's probably worth it for free. Cut them up. We got some electricity. The saw blade's holding up well. There's no nails in any of this. We don't have to worry about it. There's no bark on it. I've got a half a stack I put over there plus that one. So there's one, almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stacks to go. So got my work cut out for me. So you got to eat your Wheaties. They're pretty heavy. You know, they're hardwood, so they're pretty heavy. And I would say the 4x4s are going to burn pretty good. I think the 6x6s would be good to put in overnight. I bet we probably got just under a face cord there. But the difference in this wood is because it's square, it's going to stack tight. So when it stacks tight, it doesn't dry well. You know, you don't get the airflow. You don't have the gaps in there. So this stuff was pretty dry when I got it. It hasn't rained a whole lot. And we're going to put it in the building there on another day. We got some clouds rolling in. The sun was hot for a minute. I feel a little sprinkle in the air, so my day might get cut short here with this. But I got plenty of work to do. I want to get this all cleaned up. This is what we didn't get for firewood. The trees that are down in the woods are pine, and so there's nothing here we can use. We did cut up the one ash, put that in the building. So without getting additional firewood this season, this should tie us over. We'll cut this up, we'll use it. And like I said, this was an experience. Which one of the saws is going to work the best? We got that Makita electric 11 amp, we got the Poland Pro 18, and then we got the Hitachi 12. And I think the slide miter saw supports my lumber. It doesn't fall and bind, it doesn't move around. I got to lift it. Let me show you one thing though that's kind of cool. Is we not quite sure if I cut a mouse in half or not, but there's a hollow spot in this one. Look at a mouse nest in there. Something jumped up and went, and then a bunch of stuff went flying. I don't know if you saw that. Maybe I cut his tail off. He didn't like that too well. And but this is probably a safer way to do it. I got no slivers, and you know, I'm not going to worry about hitting the ground, cutting anything. And then just as I throw it on the trailer, I can back it in the carport so it doesn't get wet. I'll bring it back out, and I'll just keep cutting and cutting until I get this done with as time sees, you know. So thanks for watching my little experiment. I'll see you soon.